Hey guys, so I've been seeing a lot online about teenagers who are trying to drop out of college to do these like online drop shipping businesses or clothing brand. And so guys, again, the reason I'm making this video is not to flame this guy completely, but it's just to tell you guys that the majority of these types of people who go into these drop shipping online sales businesses, they fail miserably, 99.9%. You're only seeing that maybe 0.01% that are successful. And even this guy who might be successful, you don't know tomorrow. It's just too volatile, it's too unstable. And you shouldn't be quitting college and losing all that money for it. So I came across this guy's video online. I don't really know anything about him except for the fact that he has an online clothing brand. That in itself is super risky. There are so many big companies out there, but he is successful. He claims to be making 6 figures in 1 month. So let's see his case and let's see why his parents won't let him drop out.
I know the background is different, you feel me? This is my hometown room, so this is where I grew up, this is where I live, this is my old room. I know it looks like solitary confinement, but this is where I came up, nothing crazy. But because I'm back home in my hometown, I brought up me dropping out of college to my parents, and as soon as I said, can I drop out of college, random stuff just started flying towards me. Like, she started throwing pillows, I don't know, toys, like random stuff. I thought I was in the Matrix.
Okay, so right off the bat, that's a really bad reaction. I'm not sure if he's over-exaggerating or if it's just tiger mom dynamics, probably both.
Another unsuccessful mission, but in this video I'm going to be explaining why my parents will never let me drop out of college. Keep in mind, I'm just a regular college student. I just happened to make, how much did I make last month? I made this last month, but nothing.
Just a regular college student making $100,000 a month. Nothing wrong with that, right?
Crazy. I also made 6 figures at 19, $500,000 at 20, and I'm about to hit 7 figures at 21.
Okay, pause. If you are actually making 7 figures at 21, that's great, but I'm not completely buying it because you need to have a team to manage that. You cannot work out of a college dorm. It's not possible. You need a staff. You need a manager. You need someone to handle PR. You need someone to handle marketing and operations and legal. A 20-year-old with zero experience in the world has none of those qualifications. This is why when so many college students and young teenagers say, I want to start a business, this is why they fail, is because things start well, but once the business grows a bit, they can't handle anything and then they get beaten down and they fail. Bigger companies have all the infrastructure that they need to be successful. This guy does not.
My mom was literally getting mad at me for failing 2 classes last quarter because she just found out, apparently, because I think the grades came in. And bro, like, what? And I told her, like, why are you surprised, bro?
If you failed 2 classes in college, that's honestly a skill issue. Like, come on, like, pass the class at least. Not that hard.
I've been failing classes since I got to college, brother. Pretty much, if you guys don't know what I do, I own a clothing brand that is my main source of income, and my parents literally hate my business. If you guys don't know, this is the whole story, but I pretty much tried to make money online for 4 years in high school, and I failed to get any results. So I was trying to make money online. I did drop shipping, copywriting, stocks, blah, blah, blah.
So in other words, you tried every single option that a teenager who wants to start a business goes through.
Literally everything, and I made literally $0, okay? I honestly lost more money than I made more money. I never told my parents any of this, so they did not know that I've worked this hard for 4 years in high school. They just thought I was a regular kid that just spends every single hour of the day alone in his room doing nothing. But, surprise, surprise, I was trying to make money online. The reason why I didn't tell them is the same reason why I don't tell anyone, because there's no point, because people don't care until you actually get results. So I never told my parents about my...
No, this does not make any sense. If you have a business, not telling someone because you don't have results is just poor business. If you are predicting a revenue of even 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, your best bet should be to explain that clearly to your parents, not complain that you want to drop out of college and they're not letting you. The story just isn't making sense to me right now. On a side note, the clothing industry is very competitive. Building a brand in clothing is super hard because there's not a lot of differentiation between the products. A lot of the products are similar. There's a lot of people out there. It's a very competitive space, and the big companies are always going to have one leg above you because they have much more money, resources, marketing. Building a brand to $1 billion empire in the clothing industry is virtually impossible, especially for a 20-year-old with no network and no skill.
Clothing brand until I had big boxes show up at her house, and my mom was like, what are these big boxes in my doorstep? And I was like, nothing crazy, it was just like clothing. I'm just trying to resell some shit. Like, I try to put it down, because I know if they knew that I was trying to start a business, number one thing they would tell me is you're dumb, just become a doctor. So I told her, it's just like a hobby.
So why would they tell you that it's a dumb idea? The answer is because 99.9% of teenagers who start these types of businesses end up failing. And the ones who do succeed are extremely rare, and it's most likely because they already have some form of connection in the space. Again, the clothing industry is super competitive, and your parents are telling you this is a bad idea because if you drop out of school and you don't get a degree that you've already invested, I don't know, like $100,000-$200,000 in as a third-year student, you are going to essentially leave with nothing, and you would have lost negative $200,000. And essentially, if your clothing brand fails, you're going to have to go back to school, which might be difficult at that later point in time, and you're going to be behind. The best thing you can do for yourself if you're looking to start a business is find a way to make it work with your school that you currently are in. Don't drop out. I have a business. I'm a business owner, and we make a decent amount per year, but I haven't dropped out of school because I'm able to manage everything. And also, I'm a straight A student too at Stanford, so you can do both of them. If you can't, it's a skill issue. Maybe your parents are upset about you dropping out of college because they know more about you that we don't know here.
Nothing crazy, you know, just don't mind it. Like, I'm making some side money, nothing crazy. And when I say my mom is a D1 hater, bro, if you could get a scholarship for getting hate, keep in mind, obviously, I did make $100,000 this month in college, but you have to understand that I started this like since freshman year in high school. And during this time period, I had no results, okay? I maybe made like $1,000 per month. And obviously, because I'm going to college, I was living on campus, so I can't pack orders on campus, right?
Again, so ask yourself this question. If you're looking to start a business, and again, the reason I'm making this video is because I want to discourage other really talented, bright young people from going into this rabbit hole of nonsense. If you are making $1,000 a month from online sales or selling something online, if you're making any amount of money or you're trying to make money from selling something online, ask yourself the one question: what is differentiating you from all of the other teenagers, all the other kids, and all of the big companies that are making money by doing these types of dropshipping things? The answer is nothing. You are not making a product. You have no patented technology. You are not a startup entrepreneur. You essentially have no differentiating factor in the industry, and you're relying on luck or the TikTok algorithm or whatever today's fad is to get you across the finish line. Ask yourself this question: in 5 years, are you still going to be in the place you are today? What about the next teenager with the next $1 billion company who's going to take all of your customers and all of your sales? You can lose things with the snap of a finger. That's the result of social media. So keep that in mind if you're trying to go into this rabbit hole. There are going to be thousands of others, millions of others, and you could lose everything within a day or within a month or within a year. Things are very volatile in this type of space. If you own patented technology in, let's say, the aerospace engineering space, and you have a startup, well, in that case, you probably have a deal with the federal government and you're selling them stuff. This is not that case. You are a teenager all you are doing is packing and shipping orders and maybe using some TikTok for marketing.
So I would go back and forth to my hometown from San Diego to LA, back and forth just to pack orders. Also, fun fact, I did not have a car, so I had to ride a stinky, crusty, musty, dusty, rusty bus for 2.5 hours every single 2 weeks just to go home and pack orders and come back the next morning. So imagine riding a 5-hour bus ride every 2 weeks in college when you're a freshman, when you're...
Again, I'm not saying he's not a hardworking person. It seems like he's put a lot of work into this. But again, the reason I'm making this video is to show you that this is not a smart idea in the long run, and I would not encourage him to drop out of college to do this. Let's say he actually is successful and this is not some sort of scam or whatever people are doing these days. What you are not seeing are the 99% of people who have tried this, spent money on it, and failed miserably. He might be the exception, and even if he is, he still might fail. To this guy, it seems like, oh, I don't want to work, I'm failing classes. You know, it's today's problem, but he's not thinking in the long run. He's not able to think in the long run in terms of business. I understand you're a business owner and your parents are discouraging you to do it. In this case, I do feel bad for him. I do feel like his parents could be more supportive. But at the same time, they know something that you don't, which is the fact that you are essentially throwing so much away if you drop out of college and this would fit and this fails, which it probably will. The biggest clothing brand, the biggest, the next Nike is not going to be this dude. It's not. It could be, and in that case, I mean, I'll be wrong, but the space is just too competitive and you have no differentiating factor.
But like, for example, even driving to LA today, and keep in mind, I haven't been to LA for like a month, okay? So this is the first time coming to LA in like a month. The drive here in itself, like I almost wanted to do a U-turn 20 minutes into the drive because I'm like, what am I doing, bro? This is so long. So imagine having to do that in a crusty, musty, dusty bus. Okay, it was so crusty. It smelled like the underside of your armpit. Like that's how bad it smelled.
Look, I feel you. That does not sound fun.
But pretty much I go through that very hard phase and I hit 6 figures within 1 year and when I was 19. And then from there, I finally got to afford my first ever car. If you guys don't know, I have a Tesla 2024 Highland. Yes, it's a Tesla. Of course, it's not, unfortunately, it's not a Trackhawk or a Hellcat.
Besides the fact that he's subtly flexing on us, which we can all tell, bro, this is the problem again. People say, oh, I made some money. Like, let me buy a car. But you don't realize that in the long run, those who go to college, you have a 20, 40, 60-year career down the line. You won't just be buying cars if you're a college grad CEO of a big company. You'll be a multimillionaire. Even if you're just you have a regular position, think long run. If this fails, you will lose everything and you will have no college degree. You'll have no job. You'll have no car. So you can't just think today's world, which is I want to buy a car, I want to buy something nice. You got to think in the long run. And long run studies show that these college students perform way better financially in terms of the hundreds of thousands compared to non-college graduates.
Hellcat, SRT. You also have to understand I'm still a second year and I still live on campus. So I would have to drive every week back to LA to pack orders because obviously at that point my business was growing. So I was getting more orders, which means I have to ship out more frequently. So every single weekend I would have to drive back to LA to pack orders and come back the next day.
We got Steve Jobs here, the next big guy, driving every week, guys, to pack orders. Every week he packs an order.
The only difference was that I was driving, so I guess it was a little bit more comfortable. I don't have to ride a crusty, musty, dusty bus ride, but it was still worse because I had to go every single week instead of every single 2 weeks now. So I did that for another year, okay? So for my second year, that's what I did. Finally, for my third year, I'm a third year now, I got my own place. So I live on my own, I pay my own rent, I pay for my own car, I pay for my own warehouse. I officially have a warehouse in San Diego, so I have no reason to come back here anymore because I do everything in San Diego.
Again, congratulations. If you're actually making this much money off of such an undifferentiated product, that means good for you. I mean, whatever got you there, whether it's probably TikTok. These types of businesses do not do well in the long run. You are not going to be the next Nike or Adidas because those companies are going to take you out. That's just the nature of how this works. These industries are already too saturated for you to get in there and make so much. The next college student with their viral TikTok videos is going to come take you out. Again, I'm a business owner with a unique product, which is why I'm saying this. I've tried these types of things before too when I was younger. It has not worked. And I know why. You have to be smart.
So like I said earlier, last month was my best month. I made 100K. And my mom is still getting mad at me for getting bad grades in my classes. And keep in mind, my classes, like, it's not going to help me, bro. I don't care what people say. Like, the classes you take in college are not going to help you start a business. Like, literally, my business teacher was a sales worker at AT&T.
No, I don't think that's true. Your professor is probably a product manager or some other sort of high-end college grad level type pipeline position.
I also took a class about the earth last quarter, and I failed that class.
To be honest, if you failed a class on the earth, that's a skill issue.
Comment in one of my videos saying that I don't care about the earth. Guys, relax. Of course I care about the earth, but what I meant by that is like I don't care about the earth and like learning the earth. Like who cares about the crust? Like I don't care about that, you know? But yeah, I mean, I guess I can drop out because I have free will. If I actually do drop out, my parents are gonna disown me. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I'm being dead ass. Like you don't understand. Like they're Korean. They're not even just.
Okay, again, your parents are telling you not to drop out because they can see the long run and what's ahead of you. All right. This is not a Darman video. This is the real world. In the business world, you cannot just drop everything and just quit for an idea that has no market value. Has this guy done any sort of user testing? Probably not. Has he done any sort of product fit? Has he done any long-term research? What is his differentiating factor? I don't really see much. Again, guys, my main takeaway is the following. If you are a high school or college student and you see these videos and you're like, I want to make this much money too, it's a trap. Do not go into it. And again, even if he's actually successful, 99.9% of people are not ever going to get anywhere near what this guy has gotten. That's the truth. The market is saturated. The big companies have a lot of the clothing brand share. If you want to start a company and you're really entrepreneurial, go to a tech school or go to any school that has entrepreneurship programs, learn from those who are there, and start a business or a startup that has some sort of differentiating value and a unique product that can sell well that could potentially be backed by investors. We are not living in 1950. You cannot start a McDonald's and it's like, oh, it's the best thing in the world, or this and that. It won't work. That's all I have, guys. Don't buy into it. I am pro college, and I believe going to college will set you up for success in the long run.